Young people are challenged in more ways than ever because of social media. You know, your eyes can be in places that they could never have been 50 years ago. You know, you can be challenged morally, spiritually, in ways that you have never been challenged before, because you can almost be everywhere with everybody. You can be in anybody's home, in anybody's room. You could be exposed to anything, any set of circumstances, good or evil, in a way that has never happened before in our world. So young people are very much pressured. Young people are saturated emotionally. You know, they're kind of like buck wild almost. You know, they don't know what to do. You know, good young Muslims, you know, at the end of the day, they're just sitting someplace drinking coffee. They're not doing nothing wrong, but they're wasting their time because they don't know what to do. Or they move up a notch. They're in the shisha spots. Again, they're not doing no direct fawahish. You know, they're not dancing, they're not bumping and grinding, they're not doing no major fawahish, but they're mixing, they eyeballing. You know, they leaning in or out, whatever. They planning, they scheming, they're interacting, they're touching. You know, they're doing whatever people do in those kinds of dark, socially relaxed environments where men and women is sitting together across from each other and they not married, they sitting with friends, and all their emotions and everything, sensual perceptions is turned up to 9-10. So what can happen? Many things happen, and it's a setup, because most of the time after they blow the smoke and sit down and joke and watch the screen and get in their cars and go somewhere, they go on and move into another level of haram. That's the second step. Others, they in the third step. I call it like the yellow, the orange, and the red steps. You know, the yellow, that's just they sitting someplace wasting their time. They ain't doing nothing constructive. They're not doing nothing really wrong, but they don't want to be home by themselves. So they go drink some coffee with they cool out with their friends or whatever the case might be. Sisters sitting on one side, brothers sitting on another side. So they still trying to be, you know, kind of like following the Islamic protocols to a certain degree, because in their houses they would be by themselves. And who wants to be by themselves? I mean, young people is not inviting young people to their houses and cooking for them and talking about projects like a seminar or like a workshop, or talking about some project. I mean, come on, that's too square. They're not going to do that. So what they're going to do, meet me at the coffee shop. All right, you're not doing no direct haram, but sometimes you're wasting your time. That's yellow. Others is in the orange almost every day. I'm talking about the imam's son, the super Salafi or super Sufi or super Sunni Sheikh's son, daughters. They in the places, the shisha joint, blowing the smoke. First of all, wasting their money. They paying for the shisha, wasting their money and blowing it up in the air. They're sitting in a provocative environment they should not be sitting in, you know, leaning in, talking, winking, sliding, profiling. Y'all know what I'm talking about, so don't be trying to act like, you know, you don't know what I'm saying. That's what you're doing. So that's like orange. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And when y'all leave from there, y'all leaving, a lot of you, into a more deeper level of centralization and provocation and other kinds of things. And I'm not making no judgment. I'm saying that this is what it is. And you can't act like I don't know, because even I'm an OG, but I be there. I pass through those places so I can see you. I can shake your hand. I can give you some words, because the other shuyukh or students of knowledge, they just too pious. They too knowledgeable. They too protected. You know, they just on a different level. They're not going to be passing through, seeing you in those kind of situations, because they would be thinking to themselves, somebody going to say they should not be there. But guess what? I be there. The doctor sometimes got to make a home visit. So I passes through those spots and I be talking to you in different countries, in different cities. So I know. And then you move from the shisha, you know, which is a little bit more provocative, right straight to the club. Now, some of y'all is clubbing. bumping and grinding to the music, in the dark lights, in the corners, chilling. And you already know what you're setting up when you're in those spots. You going to the club to rub, bump and grind. I mean, you might do it on a low because, Muhammad, Fatima, y'all don't want nobody to know that y'all bumping and grinding under those low lights and all that, but that's what you're doing. Many of you doing regularly, wasting your time in an environment you're not supposed to be in, crossing the lines, touching things you ain't supposed to be touching, looking at things and acting like monkeys and donkeys and doing all kinds of stuff, because the music is on. I mean, what you going to do to the music? You ain't going to stand still. So you in a place which is kind of like the Hellfire. This is like the vestibule of the Hellfire. That means like when you go to a movie house, you go into where the popcorn and all that is at, that's the vestibule. That's the entry level before you go inside to see the movie. So when you in that club, you in the vestibule. Next stop is what you're going to be doing that people do who go to the Hellfire who want to be punished. Now, many of the young Muslims today at 7 o'clock at night, I don't care whether it's Mecca, I don't care where it is, the most religious places, and the young people who are the daughters and sons of the most religious people be in these three spots, 7 o'clock at night, drinking coffee, smoking shisha, or bumping and grinding. Now, on top of all that, these challenges that we're going through, and I'm not blaming nobody, I'm just saying that this is where it's all set up. The social media is set up to prepare you, to provoke you, to sensualize you, to make you feel and incline you and motivate you towards these places. It's set up to do that. That's not what you have to do, because social media is also set up for other things that you can do. But I'm talking about generally, this is how it's set up. Now, on top of that, other situations happen. Personal failures. In your personal life. Loss of friends, loss of family, people die. You got a wife, you got a husband, things not going right. You wind up divorced or by yourself. You in gangs. You separated yourselves into different groups or whatever the case might be, and you find yourself involved in crime.